Here's a tip on approach sharing your thoughts, your ideas in the general, broader sense. I'm not going to be specific about a channel, the type of format that you need to use or the type of content that you need to use. But I just want to talk about my approach in terms of publication, which I call meaningful publication. This is relevant if you are in a profession where you're paid for your ideas. This is what experts do. They are paid for their ideas, whether you are called in society a coach, a consultant, a mentor, an advisor, an expert. We mentioned that. And, it also exists if you are an architect, a lawyer, anything that implies that you will use your thinking to do your craft. Typically, the typical reaction on this topic is people don't want to have a hard time engaging with meaningful publication because they think, well, I have to have all my thoughts clarified first. I have to have everything perfectly organized. I have to have thought about this deeply so that I can start communicate. Otherwise, it's not going to be good enough. We don't show up with the narrative of the amateur. We show up right away out of the gate with the narrative of the professional that needs to be paid to do something. On the other hand, amateurs do something because they love it. They don't expect to be paid anyways, always. But so we get mixed up, we get confused. There is a misunderstanding here that we should right out of the gate show up as a professional, but we are by definition in the beginning of our journey, at least about a new concept, new idea, new thought. We feel like we should be polished, but we're just amateurs. We're just beginners. So we should, first of all, most of all, accept that. Accept that. Years ago, when I wanted to engage in publication, I thought I should be a professional right out of the gate. So I hired a professional writer to write with me, sometimes for me. And that process led me to realize that this was not a good fit for me, at least in the beginning. But what I realized then is that it was costly. It would take a lot of time, multiple revision cycles. It was a headache, frustration. And then I ended up publishing, I think, 2 articles in 6 months. So I decided this was it. I was not going to continue with this until I started publishing with the help of another guide. His name is Philip Morgan, if you're curious. And Philip got me on the idea that all I had to do was to lower my bar and just accept that the deepest, most valuable ideas I had to share were just not visible yet. I had to let them emerge. So I went on the path to commit to writing 1 blog article every single day, 7 days a week. And I did this for a little bit over a year. And that was when I really touched something special that I want to share with you that has forged my approach to sharing my ideas, my thoughts, that I call meaningful publication. I've mentioned this term 2 or 3 times in this video. I want to read to you my definition of meaningful publication before I keep going with this video, with the tips I want to share with you. Meaningful publication is the process of creating and sharing material that deeply resonates with your audience, while also helping you explore, clarify, and articulate your thoughts and narrative. This approach emphasizes genuine self-expression, personal growth, and connection with your audience. So as you could see here, it's a pretty drastic departure from the traditional narrative of publish content so that you make people excited about you and hook them with your ideas and then turn them into a lead that you can rail in and convert into a client. That's not the philosophy of meaningful publication. If that's what you wanted to do with your publication, well, I'm sorry to disappoint you, but this is not what you should do first. First, you should consider this as a practice of cultivating your expertise. Just like athletes and artists, and yeah, just as like many other people and many other professions do every day, they show up. They show up on the ring, they show up at the swimming pool, they show up in front of the piano or their instruments of choice. They show up in their doctor's practice and they do their work. They practice it, and they practice and practice and practice and practice. So again, if you claim to be an expert, if your desire is to make money, stabilize your life with financial peace through the money you make thanks to your thinking, this is the practice you should engage in today. Start today if you have not done that. It is waiting for you. It is right there at your fingerprint, especially these days when publishing has been completely transformed and now powered by artificial and accelerated by artificial intelligence. You can publish even more. You can go deeper with your thoughts if you know how to use artificial intelligence, AI, as a creative partner, not as somebody you outsource the creation of your deepest, most personal thinking, like some other people think. So if you engage in that practice, you do the work of the expert. You do what you're supposed to do. And if you don't, well, you do what you're not supposed to do. And that's probably why you might have been feeling that tension inside. Something telling you, well, maybe you should create something. Maybe you should publish. Maybe you should articulate. Maybe you should try to clarify this. But at the same time, don't do it because you might come across as unprofessional. And that's the judge in you taking over your narrative. I teach people how to grow their narrative power, which I define as the leadership ability to change the normal when the normal is wrong. So if your normal is to be afraid of publishing, is to be hesitant, is to be unsure about whether people are going to like it or not, change that normal. Go deep in your source of strength and ask yourself, what is this one thing you could do today to change, to defy that normal? That would be awesome. That would be so productive to build narrative power for yourself and your business. These are the roots of my approach to meaningful publication that I invite you to consider, that I implore you to consider, because why? Why do I say this? You have everything you need to start impacting people through your words, your images, whatever the channel might be today. In fact, I would argue that your work starts in your marketing. As my colleague George Cao says, marketing is helping your business find its calling. This is where marketing takes a whole new meaning, a new layer, a new definition. Marketing is the way you should start impacting people. It starts with your marketing. So start today. Most people think that, yeah, work only starts when you're working with clients, when you're paid. So they wait until they get paid, and they get paid a little bit in the beginning, but they don't do enough work. So they don't get practice. So people don't see what their expertise is worth. See the negative spiral here, the negative snowball effect. I'm inviting you to test the other snowball, which is a lot more based on abundance, generosity, and believing in the thoughts, in the facts, in the ideas, in the energy that you put in front of people. Start there. Start by believing that no matter who you are, no matter where you are, whenever you want, you have something of value to put in the ears, eyes, hands, heart of the people around you. See, that approach I forged over years and years of research, trying to develop my own publication process. And that started years ago. I told you the story. I just shared the story about me publishing 7 days a week, relentlessly, effortlessly. And that was a lot of work. It was a lot of sacrifices at time, because after a busy day, taking care of my family and my business and friends and many, many things, I thought, I didn't publish today. What am I going to do? Go to bed or try to get that article done and send it? And I choose the latter. And sometimes it would take me 10 minutes, sometimes 3 hours. So you set the bar yourself for how much effort you want to put into this and when you should do it. There is no rule. There is no rule for the time of the day when you should send a broadcast something. There is no rules really for how long this should be. There is no rules for what form it should take. See here, I'm doing it in a video, but maybe I could have probably done that um, through writing or through drawing or through painting, or maybe I should have come up with a dance to express the same thing. Your creativity is there for you to use it. So connect with the voice inside that tells you what to do. Just listen to it. Just let life guide you in that context. Just like cows are guided through the field kind of randomly. We look at cows on a field and we think, where are they really headed? And they tend to come back to the same area, and you over time you start seeing those paths that form because the cows tend to travel as a group uh, on the field, and they design those paths on the field, and that's where they come back to the places they like. And the same goes for your writing. Think about your writing. Think about publishing, I should say, because I implied you're going to write, but think about publishing as cow pathing, another term, another word coined by my mentor, Philip Morgan. And you will discover that it's not because you have so many ideas that you write or that you publish. It's because you publish that you get all those ideas, and that you get attached to you to the ideas, that you commit to those ideas, that you wrestle with them, that because you start to express them one way or another, in a short form or long form, with a drawing, with a sketch, and next time with a video, and next time in front of people in a workshop, and you build slides, and maybe you write a book about that. It's like arm wrestling with your ideas until you come out of this fight victorious, clear, confident, attached, passionate, determined, with the right intention to your expertise. Your marketing matters more than anyone could believe. So I'm going to sound like a broken record here. If I didn't make my point clear enough yet in this video, start today. Start today. Your marketing and your meaningful publication practice is the one thing that you should start immediately as you enter the craft. And if you've been waiting for many, many years, don't wait any longer. Your marketing is your ministry. This was the word I was looking for in my mind for a while in this video. Did you notice? If this topic is of value to you, my name is Guillaume Viatre. I am the founder and principal of MetaHelm. And MetaHelm is a business strategy consulting firm that specializes in helping CEOs, business leaders, founders, and leadership teams of professional services build a business that is financially highly successful, but also a business that they love, that they feel committed to, and that they can sustain for many, many years. So I'm going to show you a mug. I'm going to show you an object that I particularly like like, relative to the topic I covered today in this video, is this one. Don't drink too much out of that mug, and publish today. I look forward to seeing your comments, your questions. And as always, I am thrilled to hear success stories from my audience here. And if you decide to, thanks to this video, if you or ever, whatever, if you decide to launch today and start publishing in a meaningful way, as I described earlier, just let me know. I would love to sign up. Thank you so much.